Hello and good afternoon. Here is the news at 4. First, the highlights. Lagos State government expresses commitment to implementation of monthly rent payment. Federal government gets European Union support to achieve sustainable waste management nationwide. On the foreign scene, China raises duties to 84% on United States goods in retaliation to Trump's tariffs. And in sport, Marcus Rashford set to consider pay cut to seal Aston Villa permanent move. Now the details. I am Akan Usen. Lagos State government has reiterated its commitment to the implementation of monthly, quarterly, and yearly rent of not more than a year's payment. It has also been engaging all relevant stakeholders for the smooth takeoff of the system for the benefit of rent seekers. Commissioner for Housing, Moruf Akinderufatai, gave this assurance during an exploratory meeting with executives of Estate, Rent and Commission Agents Association of Nigeria, ERCAN. Akinderu Fatai also encouraged estate agents and similar bodies to come out strongly against quacks who encourage property owners to increase rent arbitrarily and create fees unknown to real estate transaction laws of Lagos State. He advised ERCAN members to help spread the promotion of monthly, quarterly, and yearly rent among its members, noting that the government is ready to partner with all stakeholders to promote the rent payment system. The president of ERCAN, Godwin Alike, in his remarks, stated that its members are committed to rent affordability and will assist the Lagos State government to promote monthly, quarterly, and yearly rent system. A Lagos mobile court has sentenced 2 individuals to 3 months custodial imprisonment for orchestrating a violent and coordinated mob attack on operatives of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASMA. The attackers were apprehended following a brazen and unprovoked assault that occurred on Monday, April 7, in the vicinity of LASMA Central District Zone 9 Victoria Island/Lekki corridor of Lagos. The rapid and tactical intervention of security personnel led to the apprehension of the 2 suspects, who were immediately arraigned before the Lagos Mobile Court at Oshodi. General Manager of LASMA, Olalekan Bakarioki, expressed firm approval of the court's ruling, emphasizing that the verdict will serve as a necessary deterrent to unruly elements within the motoring public, especially commercial vehicle operators. Bakarioki also condemned the despicable and unlawful act of aggression, reiterating his unwavering commitment to a zero-tolerance policy on attacks against its officials. The National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, has been notified of the activities of unauthorized individuals or organizations purportedly asking Anambra residents for the submission of the National Identification Number, NIN, in exchange for money. In a statement by its head of corporate communications unit, Kayode Adegoke, NIMC says these contravenes the NIMC Act number 23, 2007, Data Protection Act, and Cybercrime Act. Adegoke says upon receiving the information on the activities of the unscrupulous individuals, NIMC, in conjunction with the Department of State Services and police, swiftly arrested the culprits behind the illegal collection of the NIN. He notes that the Commission advises Anambra State residents and Nigerians to avoid submitting their NINs to unauthorized individuals, organizations, or platforms, as the federal government and NIMC have not authorized this. According to him, anyone caught will be sanctioned appropriately. And now to the rest of the stories. The federal government has secured the support of the European Union (EU) in its bid to achieve sustainable waste management in line with the United Nations International Zero Waste Agenda. European Union Ambassador to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Gautier Mignot, stressed the need to reduce waste generated in the textile industry, which globally stands at 92 million tons annually. Mignot said this results in environmental and social impacts that disproportionately affects biodiversity and human health, especially vulnerable persons across the country. He made this known in Abuja during this year's International Zero Waste Day event. Mignot noted that this year's theme, Towards Zero Waste in Fashion and Textile, underscored the environmental and social challenges caused by the fashion and textile sectors in their business model, which drives overproduction and overconsumption. The federal government has confirmed that the crude oil refined product sales in Naira initiative remains a standing national policy and will continue indefinitely. This assurance was contained in a statement released via the X handle of the Federal Ministry of Finance amid growing inquiries on the status of the policy. The ministry stated that the initiative, first approved by the Federal Executive Council, is a long-term strategic directive and not a short-term or provisional measure. According to the ministry, stakeholders have convened to reiterate their full support and ongoing commitment to ensuring successful implementation of the initiative. The policy, which mandates the transaction of crude oil and refined petroleum products in Naira, is aimed at strengthening the country's economic sovereignty, enhancing local refining capacity, and stabilizing the foreign exchange market. Now to foreign news. China is raising its tariffs on the United States to 84%, up from 34% effective April 10. This is a retaliatory move after President Donald Trump nearly doubled duties on China's imports. Global markets slump in response to Trump imposing his latest round of tariffs, which took effect at midnight on Wednesday and are aimed at countries that are ripping off the U.S. China's finance ministry says the U.S. escalation of tariffs on China is a mistake on top of a mistake. Meanwhile, the European Union says it approved trade countermeasures against the U.S. that will go into effect on April 15. And now sports. England forward Marcus Rashford is set to consider taking a wage drop if he is to seal a permanent move to Aston Villa. According to a report, the club will face paying of £130 million over 5 years in wages and a transfer fee if it signs Rashford at his current £350,000 a week salary. The 27-year-old is currently on loan with the Midland Giants, who negotiated the option to buy him from Manchester United for £40 million. Rashford's current wage will break the salary structure at Aston Villa, but the player is keen to play regularly away from Old Trafford and will have to consider dropping his demands. He has also contributed 4 assists in 10 appearances for Villa, who is currently covering the majority of his wage while the forward is on loan. And that's all for the news at 4. Always obey road signs and traffic lights. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms on X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. On YouTube, subscribe and watch us live on our channel, Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website on www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration trained 500 unemployed youths in soft skills and job interview program? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Government has reiterated commitment to the implementation of monthly, quarterly, and yearly rent of not more than a year's payment. The federal government has secured the support of the European Union, EU, in its bid to achieve sustainable waste management in line with the United Nations International Zero Waste Agenda. We also told you that China is raising its tariffs on the United States to 84%, up from 34%, effective April 10. And in sport, England forward Marcus Rashford is set to consider taking a wage drop if he is to seal a permanent move to Aston Villa. For contact with the newsroom, please send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. And that ends the news broadcast compiled by Mojid or Lolade. I am Akan Usen. Thanks for listening and please stay safe. Good afternoon.